Glad to have with us Lance Turner from Arkansas Business, back with us again to talk everything elections as we head into the evening. A lot of folks showed up at primary polling sites, early voting sites, because of the names in this governor's election.
That's right.
A White House spokesperson, daughter of a former governor.
Yes.
How much of this race was decided last March when she cleared the field in the Republican side?
Well, it was. I mean, if you look at the polls and you look at the money, I mean, it was pretty well. The die has been cast for a long time. I think $9 million in the general election in her campaign war chest versus just under $2 million for Chris Jones, the Democratic candidate. So clearly, she's had the momentum. Clearly, Arkansas remains deeply red. Really still backing Trump, and of course she was Trump's press secretary, and the day she left the White House, Trump was already campaigning for her practically to be governor of Arkansas, and so she really has benefited from that.
Assuming the numbers play out the way we expect them to play out, and we'll talk about more of this as we go through our THV 11 Plus coverage, what kind of future do you see for Chris Jones, who frankly ran a very dynamic campaign?
Yes, yeah. I think he's probably got a really good future in Democratic politics here in Arkansas. I will be interested to see what his vote is tonight, because he could very well match or even exceed some previous Democratic candidates that we've had in the last few cycles. So, if he's getting 41, 42%. I mean, that's pretty strong. And so, maybe they look at him for 2nd District one day. Maybe they look at him for other things. So that's going to be an interesting question moving forward after tonight as to what his future is going to be.
4 years ago, another prominent African American whose star was on the rise, Frank Scott Jr. here in Little Rock. Now very much embattled in his effort to get a second term. How do you see this race shaking out as we go through the evening?
Well, I think this is one that could probably go to a runoff if we're not careful. We've got 4 candidates in this race. If Greg Henderson is able to pull a significant amount of the vote, I think it could very well head to a runoff between Frank Scott Jr. and Steve Landers. And it's there's not been a lot of polling on this, so we're really kind of casting about in the dark here. But every person I've talked to, every sense is that this one is going to be pretty close. This may be one that goes kind of late in terms of what the direction is going to be. And
speaking of late, we expect to need every minute and every ballot to count on how issue 4 is going to turn out.
I think so. I think when that has the trend has gone away from that. Actually, the oppose has grown in strength in polling. We saw the Arkansas poll come out and show that a lot of people have said they oppose legalizing recreational marijuana, but I think that one could be pretty close too. I think a few of these could be pretty close as well. I think the religious freedom one may be close. Issue 3, issue 2, the raising the bar for getting ballot amendments passed could also be pretty close. These may be the things that are keeping us up a little late tonight.
We will see how that all works together and plays together. We will have full coverage of that coming up on THV 11 Plus.